Okay, Stanley, gonna review your call. Let's go.
Hey Joe, how's it going?
Pretty good, mate. How about you?
Good, good. Whereabouts are you?
Australia.
Australia? Very
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. It's a cool spot. I'm pretty lucky.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I've always wanted to visit. I've heard amazing things. Ready to get started?
Yeah, yeah. Let's chime into it, please.
All right. So just to start things off, here's how the call's going to go. I'm going to ask you a few questions to sort of understand your situation, where you're trying to go, and what's getting in the way.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's good. Let's do that.
All right. So first things first, what got you on this call?
Um, so I just kind of I like saw some of Simon's stuff on Instagram and that, and I all about because I think he might be able to help me. Well, I'm hoping so. So I just kind of want to get an idea of what he does.
Okay. Um, so you saw some of Simon's content. You want to see what that's about. All right. So what do you currently do for work?
I do high ticket closing.
All right. You're already in the high ticket closing game.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing that for?
Like 2 years.
Okay, you've been doing high ticket closing for 2 years, and how's that going for you?
Um, it's like I'm not very happy. You know, it's fine, but I'm not very happy with it.
Well, what makes you say you're not happy with it?
Just the money. Like I'm just not making as much money as I want to make.
Okay. You're not making as much money as you want to make. You've been in the game for around 2 years, and so that's why you booked the call is to see what Simon uh, if Simon can help you on that. So what's uh what's like can you tell me a bit about your high ticket closing? Like what kind of product have you been selling?
Yeah, I've been doing a few things. Like I've sort of tried this and tried that. Like I tried a bit of fitness for a while. Did a bit of
Not the most obvious next thing. Next thing is just how much money is he making? If he says, I'm not making enough money, okay, so how much money are you making? Then dive into that. Then you get the data on how much money he's making. Then you get the data of what that's costing him in his life. You don't just jump to another thing and ask like what he's selling. It doesn't matter at this point.
um, like fitness offers where people are doing personal training and stuff. I did some financial coaching stuff. Even just like social media coaching, like getting.
You got to imagine in the prospect's brain if they said, okay, so the main thing that brought me here is I'm not making enough money. And then you as a closer, you start asking, okay, so what are you selling and blah, blah, all these other things. And the prospect, maybe consciously, maybe not, will think, huh? But it's about the money. Like, why don't you ask me about that? It's like the most obvious thing and like the main thing, right?
People where they could just like build a bigger social media account and like or TikTok or whatever. So I've done a few different things. Yeah.
Okay. How'd you get into high ticket closing?
Um. Yeah. I mean,
Again, not sure why you're asking this. It's just irrelevant. It's been 2 years already. Who cares why? He's in it now and he's not making enough money now.
to be honest, like, um, it was probably maybe 4 years ago. I was at uni, and I didn't like uni at all. I really hated uni. Uni sucked. I really hated uni. Um, and I was just like doing this thing. I was like, man, I don't want to do this course. And even if I finish the course, I don't want to get the job that's like at the other end of this thing. I just didn't want to do any of it. But I really wanted to like make money and be successful. So then I just started like trying to work out how I could do that. And one day I just found out about this like high ticket closing thing, and I've done a bit of sales in the past. So I was like, oh yeah, like I could probably work that out and like be good at that. And people seem like they're making pretty good money doing it, and then they get to travel the world and they've got like a lot of freedom and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll have a go at that. And then I just started like it took me a bit of time to like find how to get into it. So it took me 2 years. I kind of like started thinking about it for a while, and then I tried to work out how to get into it, and And eventually I got my first offer, so I started selling that. But I didn't really know what I was doing, so it took me a while to quit my other jobs and work it out a bit too. But I do it full time now. And yeah, so it took a few years because I just didn't want to. And I quit uni. I hated uni so much. Uni sucked. Yeah.
Got it. So when you were trying to figure out how to get into high ticket closing, and because you didn't like uni at all, did you get coaching, or did you just figure it out yourself and then you landed a job?
Yeah, pretty much that. I watched some dudes on YouTube talking about it. They do this, do that. I followed some stuff they had, and they had some free PDFs or whatever. So I kind of followed that, and it got me jobs. And then I watched some videos online about how to do it and all that. So I kind of worked it out that way. And when I was in jobs, there was people who were kind of trainers, so they taught me a bit. So I've learned things here and there, but I never really had someone who had been like, "Oh yeah, true. You actually, you know how this works, and you can actually teach me how to do it properly."
Got it. Okay. So you're self-taught, which is impressive, but you're self-taught. You kind of figured things out as you were going. YouTube, some people here and there, and
I wouldn't validate him on being self-taught. It goes against your sale.
But I'm a little bit curious though. Why?
Also, he says he basically gave you even though that wasn't really the right line of questioning, he's being an easy prospect at the moment because he even told you, I've never had someone to learn this properly. So you can just dive into that and go into that. Okay, so not learning it properly, what does that mean for you? You can just use his words and ask him, get him, what does that mean for you not learning it properly, etc. And dive into that. He already gave you a lot of easy stuff to make the sale there.
Why didn't you get coaching?
But instead, you validated him on being self-taught, which is
for it. Why go down the self-taught route?
I don't know. I just never really thought about it, to be honest. I just.
Ah, yes, Nick's classic. I've just never thought about it. Answer.
It didn't really occur to me. I just thought I'd sort of try it, work it out. I was meeting people here and there. I met people who were closing. We were talking to each other. Like I said, I had people who were trainers, so it's not like I've had no coaching.
Yeah.
And then I was watching stuff on YouTube, so it's I've had some kind of coaching along the way. But yeah, I've had some stuff, I guess.
Notice how on that answer, Nick's gone from in previous minutes or so ago. He said, "I've never had someone to really learn this properly," which was this is such an easy thing to work with, and kind of actually framing himself in the negative. Now you went down a different path, and now he's actually, what did he say? He said I've never needed to, I guess, or something, right? So he said he framed it more as a less negative.
And I was watching stuff on YouTube, so it's I've had some kind of coaching along the way.
Yeah, now he's defensively, well, not defensively, but he said more in a positive frame. Well, I've had some coaching, etc.
Okay.
So now you'd have to challenge that instead of just diving into his own words of, I've never had someone to teach me this properly earlier. You could have just taken that pain point, that negative framing, and worked with it.
Yeah, I've had some stuff, I guess.
But essentially, main critique so far is we're 7 minutes in now, and you still haven't asked him the main thing, which is how much money is he currently making and why that's not enough.
Okay. And so you were saying you're not too happy with the money you're making, though, right?
Okay.
So tell me a little bit about that. I mean, how have you always felt that way since you started high ticket closing, or is there a moment where that feeling it came up?
I mean, from the start, I wasn't really thinking about it. I wasn't happy, but I wasn't sad. I was just kind of trying to work it out. But then, over the last maybe 4, 5, 6 months or something, I just kind of I've just been stuck, for a while I was still there was more hours I could work, and I could just go and take more calls in that, and so I could make more money like that. But I can't really do that anymore because I don't want to spend my whole life working, and so I'm just I'm kind of stuck. I just can't make any more money, and that's where I was because up until then I could still I was making more money each month. So I was well, it just keeps going up, and so it wasn't bad, but or at least every few months, on average it'd go up. But yeah, maybe the last 4, 5, 6 months, it's just kind of been stuck there, and nothing's really changing, and I don't really know how to get more.
Okay. How many clients are you working with right now?
How many clients?
Yep. That you're doing the high ticket closing for?
How many companies do I close for?
Yeah.
Just one.
Okay, just the one. You've been working with the same one for the past 2 years?
Nah, maybe the last year.
Last year? Okay. So,
Nah, it's kind of been stuck there, and or at least every few months, on average it'd go up. But yeah, maybe the last 4, 5, 6 months, it's just kind of been stuck. Because I don't want to spend my whole life working, and I just kind of work it out. But from the start, I wasn't really thinking about it. I wasn't happy, but I wasn't sad. I was just kind of trying to work it out. But then, over the last maybe 4, 5, 6 months or something, I just kind of I've just been stuck. For a while, I was still there was more hours I could work, and I could just go and take more calls in that, and so I could make more money like that. But I can't really do that anymore because I don't want to spend my whole life working, and so I'm just I'm kind of stuck. I just can't make any more money, and that's where I was because up until then I could still I was making more money each month. So I was it just keeps going up, and so it wasn't bad, but or at least every few months, on average it'd go up. But yeah, maybe the last 4, 5, 6 months, it's just kind of been stuck there, and nothing's really changing, and I don't really know how to get more.
okay. How many clients are you working with right now?
So you'd want to summarize this part, and then you'd want to get data about it. Okay, so from the start, you already weren't happy with it. You just weren't thinking much about it, but you weren't happy with your income. Then it sounds like your income did increase as you took on more and more calls, but taking on more and more calls started becoming unsustainable for you, and you didn't want to work that much. Now, since the last 6 months, you've just been stuck, not knowing how to get more. Is that accurate? Something like that. Yes, that's accurate. Because how much were you making at the start? Then how much were you making 6 months ago, 3 months ago, etc. You get the numbers, and then dive into his numbers and what's that costing him, and his feeling of being stuck, etc. And why hasn't he already reached out in the last 6 months? So in other words, get the why now. Does something shift for you to get help now after 6 months of being stuck?
How many clients?
Yeah, that you're doing the high ticket closing for?
How many companies do I close for?
Yeah.
Just one.
Okay, just one. You've been working with the same one for the past 2 years?
Nah, maybe the last year.
Last year, okay. So, okay, so you've been working with one client in the past year. When you started high ticket closing, you're pretty content, but in the last 4, 5, 6 months, you've kind of felt stuck.
He wasn't content. He said he's not happy with it. He wasn't happy, but also not sad. But just take the cup half empty and say he wasn't happy with it. It's his words.
You don't feeling you don't want to first you feel like you're not making any more money, as much money as you could, essentially. So, I'm just trying to get some clarity on specifics. You don't feeling like you're okay. So you've been working with one client in the past year. When you started high ticket closing, you're pretty content, but in the last 4, 5, 6 months, you've kind of felt stuck. You don't feeling you don't want to first you feel like you're not making any more money, as much money as you could, essentially. So, I'm just trying to get some clarity on specifically why now, right? Why hop on this call now? Did something happen in the recently that made you that made you feel a certain way that you had to hop on this call?
I was just
I don't know why you're still taking so long to get those words out. Not to critique too heavily, but if it's a simple question, just get that out there.
like I said, like every few months, my money was going up and it was going up, and then maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, oh yeah, it was like it was kind of like it had still been going up at that point, so I was like, oh yeah, that's it is what it is, and then a couple more months went by, and I was like, oh, it hasn't really gone up anymore, and then like last month, which was like 6.
Like, let me know what are you thinking of when you're stuttering on the question that much, just to see if there's something that I can work out there with you, because it's a pretty simple question, but you stutter a lot on those questions for some reason. It's just something I've noticed.
Months, and it's been pretty much at the same amount. And
like, are you thinking of different ways to phrase it in your mind in real time, or what's going on internally for you to stutter around that much instead of just getting the words out? Just like genuinely curious.
I'm just like, oh, yeah, right. Like it's just not changing anymore. And so I just kind of like realized that I don't think it's going to change unless I do something about it.
And so you said last month and the last 6 months. Did I get that right?
What do you mean?
Like I didn't hear that very clearly. Essentially, you're pretty content, but in the last like 4, 5, 6 months, you've kind of felt stuck. Okay, so you've been working with one client like in the past year. When you started high ticket closing, you're pretty content, but in the last like 4, 5, 6 months, you've kind of felt stuck. You don't like feeling like you don't want to well, first you feel like you're not making any more money, as much money as you could, essentially. So I'm just trying to get like some clarity on specifically why not feeling like pretty content, but in the last like 4, 5, 6 months, you've kind of felt stuck. You don't like feeling like you don't want to well, first you feel like you're not making any more money, as much money as you could, essentially. So I'm just trying to get like some clarity.
Yeah, so like I said, there's just a more succinct and better way of summarizing that, which is basically, so it sounds like from the start, ever since you got into this from the start, you weren't happy with your results. You just weren't thinking about it as much. You weren't super sad, but you weren't happy with your results. You were making somewhat more money by taking on more calls, but that got unsustainable for you. You didn't want to keep taking more and more calls. And over the last 6 months, you've just been stuck without knowing how to get more. Is that right? And so then I would want to get the data. How much did you make at the start? And then how much were you increasing? Maybe he was only increasing by $200 a month, right? And that's a pain point in of itself, even as progress was slow. Maybe not, I'm curious about his whole trajectory in terms of his actual numbers. And, then what does now being stuck mean? Like, how much has he been making these last months? There could be huge pain there. Maybe he can't pay his bills anymore. You never know, but get those numbers right.
On specifically, why now, right? Like, why hop on this call?
And then, yes, the why now.
Call now. Like, did something happen in the recently that made you, that made you feel some way that you had to hop on this call?
I mean, it was just like, like I said, like every few months, my money was going up and it was going up, and then maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, oh yeah, it was like it was kind of like it had still been going up at that point, so I was like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah, that made you feel some way that you had to hop on this call.
I mean, it was just like, like I said, like every few months, my money was going up and it was going up, and then maybe 3 or 4 months ago, I was like, oh yeah, it was like it was kind of like it had still been going up at that point, so I was like, oh yeah, that's it is what it is, and then a couple more months went by, and I was like, oh, it hasn't really gone up anymore, and then like last month, which was like 6 months, and it's been pretty much at the same amount, and I'm just like, oh, yeah, right, like it's just not changing anymore, and so I just kind of like realized that I don't think it's going to change unless I do something about it.
And so you said last month and
so you could still hammer home again, like more challenging. Why now though? Because it sounds like since the start you weren't really happy with your results, you said, right? And then it was going up every few months. And then it sounds like you said you've been stuck for 6 months. So, already 6 months ago, 3 months ago, you could have seen that the results weren't there as you wanted them, etc.
The last 6 months, did I get that right?
What do you mean?
I didn't hear that very. The last part, the thing that you said last month it stopped going up anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been the same for the last 6 months.
Last 6 months. Got it. Yeah. So the last 6 months. So the last 6 months it hasn't been going up. At the first couple months it was going up, but you've sort of hit a plateau essentially.
Yeah, like it was going up for the first year and a half, but after that, like the last 6 months, it's just been the same.
Okay. What have you done to try to remedy the situation so far? Like in the last 6 months since you've hit this plateau?
Well, I mean, like I tried, I'd always just like open up, I just book more calls and just get on more calls. But I can't I kind of don't have more time to do that, and
Again, like, just to reiterate, I would have still challenged him again on a why now, like, if it's been pretty much the same. Although, funnily enough, you said before that it was still going up like 3 or 4 months ago. For some reason you said that, but maybe you didn't mean that. But if you're saying again that it was the same for 6 months roundabout, then, why only do something half a year later? It's quite a lot of time to be stuck.
And so that's where I've kind of hit a bit of a ceiling there. And then I just started looking around for people that I thought could maybe help me, because I know there's people making a lot more money than 5K, and I'm like, if they can do it, so can I. So I just tried finding people to help me.
You're making a 5K a month?
Yeah.
Australian dollars, US dollars? Yes. Okay. All right. So what would you say is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now in terms of overcoming this plateau, right? You try to get more hours, but there's only so many hours in the day, and you don't want to spend your whole life working. So what would you say, in your opinion, is like the biggest challenge for you to overcome this plateau?
I just don't think I really know like how to make more sales from the same number of calls.
Right, how to make more sales from the same number of calls. Got it. Okay. Understood. So putting all this together, right? Like you've been feeling this plateau for the last 6 months, 5-6 months, where it hasn't your total revenue hasn't gone up. You've tried booking more calls.
Use this word, stuck.
But it hasn't been working.
Also, I would have just gone into the pain more of how that feels to be stuck. And what is costing him? What's bad about 5K for him?
And so you're in this position where you're trying to figure out, like, okay,
what's he not able to do, right?
How do I get more sales from the same number of calls? How has this plateau, how has like being stuck in this plateau, how's it been making you feel? How do you feel about it?
I mean, not good.
I'm just smiling because I can picture Nick right now just, getting into character, getting into an emotional prospect now.
Would you say it's been affecting your day-to-day in any way?
Yeah, it's like, I suppose so. Like I left uni because I hated uni, but I still wanted to be really successful. And then I kept making more money each month, so I was like, I just got to keep doing this, and then I'll just, be really successful one day. And but then I just stopped making more money, and so now I'm just kind of starting to, just like question a lot of things, and like I'm pretty confident that I'm able to do it. Like, I'm it's not hard. Like, I'm capable. I just don't know what I'm meant to do. And so, I'm just feeling like kind of stuck and not really sure what to do about it.
Right. So you're not too sure what to do about the plateau. You're feeling kind of stuck. you left uni because you hated it, and so it felt good when you started making money when you first started high ticket closing. But now that you're at this plateau, you're sort of questioning things. But you are confident that you're able to do it, and it's just that you're not sure that you're not that that you don't know. The issue is that you don't know what you're meant to do exactly to get the same amount of money from the same amount. Sorry, more money from the same amount of calls. So what? Can you tell me, like, what's your closing rate like?
Maybe 30 to 40%.
30 to 40%. Okay. Okay. And well, so it also kind of sounds like what you're saying is that you want to. This kind of sounds obvious, right? But you're trying to figure out how to get a higher close rate, essentially, so you can get more money from the same amount of calls.
I guess like that's one way I could do it, Yeah, for sure.
How are you feeling about your current close rate?
Yeah, just kind of like, it's kind of annoying. It's kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like, I feel really confused and I'm really stuck. And like, it's like, no matter what I do, it's like I try all these new techniques and stuff that I see online, but it doesn't change anything. Like nothing changes, People kind of say different stuff, but at the end of the day, like, it doesn't change anything for me. And I just don't know how to how to do more. I feel like I'm just pretty stuck there.
Okay. What goes through your mind when you're feeling stuck about this plateau, even though you've tried these, various techniques that you've picked up here and there? It's not really making a dent. Like, what goes through your mind in those moments?
Pretty much just wondering, what am I supposed to do?
So I like that question, right? So I like, there's a vibe of the conversation right here. It's good. I'm just curious, why haven't you asked him and dug deeper into the cost of his current situation in terms of only making 5K? Like, why don't you draw from your experience and go like, what is it about his actual life situation that's bothering him, right? Why is that bad? What's he not able to do? What's he not able to afford? What's it really costing him to only making 5K, etc. Instead of just talking about the close rate, which is fine to also go over the close rate and that it's low, etc. If he said that his main issue is figuring out how to close more of his calls, I mean that's sales in general, right? I mean, you know what I mean? I just wish he would have dived more into his actual cost of his current situation, right?
Like, I don't think it's got anything to do with me. Like, it's not like, I don't think it's got anything to do with me. Like, it's not like there's anything wrong with me. It's just that I'm just like, I just don't know what to do. And I'm just like, it just, no matter what I do, it's like, nothing changes. And I just want to know what to do.
When you say the issue isn't me, I just need to know what to do. Can you clarify a little bit for me, please? Like, what do you mean by I don't think the issue is me?
Like, if I look at someone who makes 10K or 15K a month, and then I look at that, I'm like, they're not like better than me. They're not like a better person than me. And so I'm like, it's not like something to do with me that means I'm not making that kind of money. It's just like, I just don't know what to do. And they, for whatever reason, there's something about them where they know how to make that much money. And
holy shit, he's giving you such an open goal to challenge the fuck out of him here that it would just make the sale.
So I'm just like, well, they must know something I don't know. And so it's like, they're not better than me, but they probably know something that I have no idea about, which is why they can make 2 or 3 times the amount of money that I can make. And so that's just what I'm trying to work out. Like, what do I need to do?
So why have you not put yourself in a position to learn what those things are for the last 2 years?
Okay. So I mean, it sounds like you're pretty confident in your skills. What when you're saying like, well, I know that they're not better than me. Can you elaborate a little bit, like for me, like, what does better mean to you? Like, how do you measure these things? What's
I just
your
mean as like as a person. Like it's not like I'm not making sales because there's something wrong with me as a person.
okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yes, but you haven't put yourself in a position to get mentored and learn the proper skills for 2 years. Like, no wonder you're fucking stuck. It's such an easy challenge. Like, it kind of is you, to be honest. If you get that challenge across, then he'll just have to buy right then and there.
But I think they've probably got more skills that I don't have for sure. Like that's why I'm trying to like find someone to help me basically because I want to find someone who makes that much money and then they can just like teach me what to do. Because if they can do it, I'm pretty sure I can do it as well.
Got it. Understood. So this
So it sounds like, what he's giving you is like gold across the board, and it sounds like it would be very closable. The only thing to keep in mind is with this type of prospect that he might actually be saying all of this shit, and then come at the end of the close, you'll still have to like think about it, right? And you'll be like, then you get scared off by the investment, and okay, blah blah blah. But if you get him to the point where you challenge the fuck out of this, and go, well, then why the heck have you not, if you think, I mean, it sounds like you say the issue isn't you, but you've been allowing this to continue for 2 years, right? You say the issue isn't you, it's not you, but you've been the one that's chosen to not get more help and learn exactly whatever you need to learn and really improve your skill set, etc., for the last 2 years, and especially the last 6 months where you're stuck. And start talking about that, he's gonna be in deep shit. Then you'll have to buy, right? You know what I mean?
being stuck in this plateau, um, how is it affecting other areas of your life?
Well,
Yeah, like just dive so much more into that massive topic of, the issue isn't me, it's not me, I just don't know what to do. Okay, fine, but then why have you not gone sooner and learned what to do? Why have you allowed this to continue? And by the way, how much money were you making before even this 5K mark? It sounds like 5K was after improving. Why is it taking you so fucking long to then find out what to do? Like, there's a massive thing here to unravel and dive into and challenge that's just gonna, it's gonna cook him. He's gonna have to buy. Right.
I mean, because I'm kind of like stuck and I don't know what I'm supposed to do, I just kind of start feeling like really lost and sometimes I feel a bit hopeless as well. And then it just, and then everything else in my life is just like, I just start questioning, like, am I doing the right thing? And that kind of stuff. But like I said, I'm pretty sure I am. But then I think also like,
Yeah, you sure you are?
I want to travel. I want to sort of have I want financial freedom, right? Like that's what I want. And just not making enough money is just mean.
Even that's pretty sure I'm doing the right thing. Yeah, for 2 years and you're at 5K now.
It's like
You don't say it that way, but you got to challenge with that energy.
Can't really travel that much, I just kind of got to stay in the same spot because it's cheap.
Got to shake this guy awake.
And then life just like keeps on happening. I'm like, man, but I want to live. I don't just want to like be here. I want to actually go and live.
So essentially, staying around this plateau of 5K USD in the last couple months.
Oh, not really. Like that's like that's a good month. It's not always like.
Okay. So tell me what a good or bad month looks like then.
I mean, like a good one would be 5, and then a bad one would be like 3, probably.
Got it. And then in the last 6 months, it's fluctuated between those two?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Well, thanks for clarifying that. So you've been in this plateau. Good month is 5. Bad month is.
So Nick, you say the issue isn't you. You just don't know what to do. Do you think that part of the problem is that, part of the issue is with you and the fact that you haven't actually been the type of person to go and get mentoring and really figure this out sooner in 2 years' time?
round 3, there's like fluctuations, which is frustrating for you because it's like you know
It's part of the issue that you're the type of person who settled for 3 to 5K for 2 years, and it's taken 2 years to realize that you're so stuck at 5K to finally reach out. Could that be part of the issue, Nick? What are your thoughts?
do this, and also you just didn't like uni, so you've been following this path for the last 2 years, and you want. I mean, high ticket closing can give you financial freedom. It can give you the ability to travel, to work and travel in many places, which is something you desire. So right now you're not there yet, right? Like you feel like you're not making enough money, and it's you feel like there's like a knowledge. There's things that you need to learn, essentially.
Yeah, I think so.
To get there. What's like, what would you say it's costing you to not, to not be able to travel where you want to travel, to not have this income that you want? What's it costing you?
I just feel like I'm just kind of wasting time. Like I just want, it's like I'm waiting for life to start.
By the way, I noticed that I'm only critiquing like the negatives. Like you are exactly, like that is a good question to ask. Just so you know, like there's also good questions you're asking for sure. If I'm not saying anything, it's because you're typically doing okay. And yeah, that is the right question. Just like the critique in general would be that we're 25 minutes in now, and you're asking this at 25 minutes. You could have asked this at minutes 5 or 6, essentially, right?
And
So like baby steps, we're working up. Just know that there'll come a time when you are a closer and you do have a tight schedule where you're limited in your amount of calls. And so then the mastery becomes, you're going to maybe hit all these points in 50 minutes. At a certain point, it's going to be about condensing and becoming more efficient with your questions. And there was a lot of fluff at the beginning where you could have gone straight into the how much money, what's it costing you, etc. And also this whole rationalization topic, like you just didn't go hard enough on him, which is going to give him room to potentially weasel out of the sale at the end. Instead of making this an actual topic of discussion and really diving into this, it would cook him. I mean, that was so juicy what he told you, like it's the issue isn't him. Really, motherfucker, for 2 years? Oof. Could have had a field day with that.
And I'm just sitting here, I'm just waiting for life to start, and I just...
Like that is so much unclaimed ownership right there.
I just feel like I'm wasting my life. Or at least it's just like, yeah, I'm just like, I'm losing time.
Like it's a good thing that he's saying that he's lacking knowledge, right? And he knows he's lacking knowledge. He doesn't know what to do. That's good because that's what you provide. So that's good for the sale. But there's also an element of unclaimed ownership in the fact that he hasn't been the person to invest more into mentoring and really get himself out of his position for 2 years, especially 6 months, but even 2 years, right?
It's not that crazy. Like it's only been a few months.
And that is an issue with him, not a skill set. That is him.
It's not like it's
has
crazy
to
or anything, but I just kind of want to like get on with it and like get to the...
He has to become the person that is going to, draw a line in the sand and fucking wake up and invest into himself and, learn these things and not just keep going thinking, oh, what are the others doing? I need more, blah, blah, blah. Like, yes, he needs more knowledge. Good that he's realized that. But also he needs to fucking wake up and become the person that's going to take action.
Money so I can actually start living my life, basically.
Right. What do you think? What's... So you feel like you're like, what's it costing you is that you feel like you're waiting for life to start. You feel like you're wasting your life and you're losing time from living life the way you want to live it in your own terms. If this plateau goes on for another, let's say another 6 months, what message would you be sending to yourself, in your opinion?
Drum roll.
I don't know. Like,
Oh, that was a bit anticlimactic.
I don't know if I'd really be sending a message or not. I just feel like it means I haven't found the knowledge that I'm looking for yet.
No, it means you've let another 6 months go by without taking action to find the knowledge.
Okay. If the plateau, if you're still in this plateau for another 6 months, you don't feel like it's really sending yourself any kind of message, but rather that it just means that you haven't gotten the knowledge that you're looking for yet.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotten the knowledge, right? Don't be careful with. I mean, you and him, right? Received the knowledge. No, motherfucker. You didn't take action to get the knowledge, right?
Well, then maybe let me ask the question a little bit differently. What message are you sending to yourself now by you know what, let me rewind a little bit. It's it sounds to me like, okay, so you left uni because you hated it. You used to do sales and you like the freedom it gives you. And
Just curious, Stanley, are you aware of this massive aspect of ownership that he's not claiming? Does this make sense what I'm saying with his unclaimed ownership? That his whole verbiage is him lacking the knowledge. And in another 6 months, you guess he would have still not gotten the knowledge. Like, you know that there's this massive ownership that he's not taking. If you're aware of that, then why are you dancing around that? Gotta get right into it.
so you dedicated 2 years of your time to get into high ticket closing, and then you managed to get into it. At first, it was working out because you were making money, and in the last 6 months or so, you've hit a plateau where an off month looks like 3K a month, on month looks like 5K a month, and you've been feeling kind of stuck. And for you, the main issue is you don't know what you're meant to do, right? Like so why is Simon the person for the job?
Don't give me the ownership now to fix him. He has to fucking get his mindset right. You know? I'm not the person for the job if this is his mindset of, yeah, let me just, nothing wrong with me, I just need more knowledge, don't know where the knowledge is. In 6 months, if I haven't found the knowledge, then I just haven't found the knowledge. Nah, motherfucker. You know what I mean? This is so much unclaimed ownership. I'm not the person to fix that if that's his mindset.
I mean, it's not really like I don't really like the freedom that sales gave me back when I was doing it. It didn't actually give me any freedom at all. I just think that this kind of sales has the potential to. And then, like I'm making more money than I've ever made at the moment. Like 3 to 5K is like the most I've ever made. So, it's not like that's bad or anything. But it's just like I want to make more. Like I want to, make way more than that, because that's actually going to give me what I want. And I mean, like, as far as I know, Simon makes 10 or 15, which would be like, yeah, that'd be great. Like, I'd be super happy with that. And so, like, I don't know. I don't know if he is the guy or not, but I just, I think he makes so much money. So I'd like to at least find out if he knows how to teach someone else how to make that much money. That's it, really.
Okay. Well, he definitely does. He definitely does. I can assure you that. I've done his coaching, and it was life-changing for me. And so you're saying it's not. You're not sure if Simon is the person for the job. You're just trying to see if he has something to offer, essentially. I mean, have you noticed a difference in Simon's style of sales compared to other sales people you may have been following on social media or YouTube or things like that?
Not really. Like, I haven't looked really that closely. I just know that he makes so much money, and I just
Yeah, thanks, Nick. But Stanley, I mean, you're just dancing around the main issue, which is, and I don't even know if Nick is consciously bringing this into his prospects. Maybe he's innocently thinking, yeah, it's just, it really is just a lack of knowledge as his role play. But if this were a real prospect, the problem is really like that he hasn't taken more action in 2 years, right? And he's essentially settled for 3 to 5K. He needs to take ownership of that. It's been his choice to not invest into mentorship earlier, right? He's not going to receive the knowledge from some cosmic download on ayahuasca trip. I mean, maybe he will, but even that would be taking action, right? To actually seek it out. So just saying, I don't know. I won't. I guess I won't have the knowledge. That's not a good enough answer. It's not a good enough answer to get onto this program either, for whatever you're selling, right? Like, we're not going to fix that for you. You need to show us that you're hungry, essentially. And tell me a pretty good reason why the heck you haven't sought out that knowledge harder in 2 years of feeling unhappy with your income, especially in the last 6 months, feeling literally stuck with your income. And you're saying there's zero issue with you and how you've been approaching things like internally yourself. It's just the lack of knowledge. I challenge the heck out of that, because yeah, obviously it looks on paper like an easy sell, and he's given you so much gold stuff, and like, he's stuck and he's getting into a cost and there's an identity cost, etc. But with this type of person, if it's been 2 years, who's to say that he doesn't get scared off then by the 4-figure investment at the end of this and go, what, yes, I logically I need this, but emotionally I'm still going to weasel my way out and actually spend another 2 months looking for knowledge, because this is kind of expensive actually, right? To eliminate that, you'd have to get into the thing that you've been avoiding, which is the big ass challenge around his internal approach towards this, right? Which is just, I don't have the knowledge, but it's not me, I just don't have the knowledge, but I've also not been looking for the knowledge actively, apparently, except for some YouTube videos. Do you think there's also a difference, not just in terms of knowledge, but with people making way more money and how they've approached their learning and their progression and their skill progression and their mastery? Do you think there's any difference there to you? I don't know. Well, think about it. Do you think that these people would have stayed settling for 3 to 5K for 2 years? Or do you think they've invested more into their knowledge earlier? Yeah, probably. So then why have you not? Do you think that's part of the issue? That's your approach to this.
I just want to see if you can teach me how to do it,
Okay. Well, like I said, he definitely can. And I think also one of the things that makes him really
because he's saying all this now and seeming like an easy close, and I think Nick is playing ball, and he will close at the end of this roleplay, I think, right? But if this were in real life, he might say all of this and how much he needs it right now logically, but his actions the last 2 years don't line up with that. You got to tell me why you're willing to really invest into this now, because there will be an investment at the end of this, and it's going to be significant, and it might scare you off compared to your income that you've made so far. So you better tell me what's changed with your approach that you're now willing to actually invest and take action to get the knowledge versus the last 2 years, right? You better come up with a pretty good reason for that.
Stand out is sort of his framework, right? his framework is quite unique compared to other sort of famous high ticket closers that we see out there, like Grant Cardone or these other styles. Simon's is much more focused on sort of creating a connection and trying to understand the client at a deeper level to basically provide them clarity. And rather than pushing something, we're trying to lead them to a solution to a problem they may or may not have been aware of. So it's we're trying to really benefit the client as much as we can. But I just have one more question, Joe. Are you Simon only has a certain amount of time in the day, right? He has 24 hours like the rest of us. And the coaching services that he offers is very highly sought after. And it's my job to make sure that the people that we're bringing on board, that they're going to commit to the course, right? They're going to commit to learning from him, his framework. Do you feel like if I were able to give you a spot, that you would be taking ownership of the style of sales that he offers, that you'd be committing to implementing his techniques systematically? Do you feel like something that you'll be able to do?
I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't, but I don't even know if it, I just want to know if it works though. I'm cool with helping people and all that. That's I don't have a problem with that, but I really just want to make more money at the end of the day. And I just kind of want to I don't know, I'm just trying to find someone who's who can just help me make more money basically. It's kind of what I'm looking for here.
Yeah. Well, Simon, I'm not sure if you saw his video about this, but Simon, when he started in his first 6 months, when he was
Hold on, that answer isn't good enough. Don't sell me. Get him to fucking no, if you're qualifying him, then stick to your guns there. That answer from him wasn't good enough. And if this were a real call and you were actually selling for me, I would tell you I don't want Nick at this point, right? I really would. And I would tell you that you have to challenge him more, right? Because so far I've heard nothing that would make Nick a good client for me. Right? No offense, Nick, to your prospect, but I haven't. So, Stanley, I would actually force you to challenge him harder and qualify harder, because so far I've heard nothing but rationalizations and blah, 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 and nothing that would make him a great client and a great student of mine, to be completely honest. And I would make you challenge harder, and I would force you to challenge harder. For the legit reason of making sure that he is ready to learn from me, to get my coaching. And you then having to do that would also in your own sales end up making you more money if you challenge them harder. Because now you're in the energy of, now you're gonna, sell me and say why I'm blah, blah, blah good. But he's just completely, said fuck off to your question and just dodge your question. I don't know, blah, 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 but, I just need to know if it works for me. No, you stick to your guns. Well, I don't need to sell you on if our system works. I know it does. We don't need you. But why would you be a good fit for us? Because so far you've said that, the issue isn't with you, but you've gone and settled for 2 years. So yeah.
Doing high ticket closing for Hussein and Greg Doucette, he was earning 10K a month, 6 months when he was doing high ticket closing for Hussein and Greg Doucette. He was earning 10K a month in the first 6 months. And then after that, he moved on to an even higher ticket, just one this time, not working with two. Now he's earning about 16 a month. So yes, absolutely. And by the way, his close rate is 70% that's his record. So I absolutely do feel like he can teach you the skills that you're looking for, and he can help you make the money you're trying to make, because he has a proven track record when it comes to that. So
So he always closes like.
Yeah, but you're selling me and you're not making him sell himself, right? Notice how energetically you're telling him, yeah, he's good, he can help you. But is he the right person to be helped? That's the question. You should have stuck to your guns there, right?
Like 70% of the people he talks to.
That's his record, basically.
Oh.
Like
Nick has the power right now. Yeah, I don't know if I am, but it depends if he can help me. What about him? Blah blah blah. Now you're explaining it to him. It's not the most powerful position.
on his best month, he's on a really good month, he's doing 70% closing rate. Yeah. But obviously some months it's 50, some months it's 60, right? But when he's killing it, it's 70%. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I don't really I kind of want to know everything he does, because I don't just want to see the best, because I want to actually see what he actually does.
Yeah, absolutely. So
I know that Nick is going to close on this, right? And it probably wasn't even a lot of conscious that the stuff he threw at you, but if this were real, there's so much there was so much stuff there that had to be challenged in order for him to not at the end go, yeah, logically it's right, and you've told me he's good and he can probably help, but I have to think about it just because it is so much money right now. There's still a pretty decent chance of that happening. Whereas if that had been challenged to the point that it had to be challenged and he claimed on all of that ownership that he hasn't, then there would be a much lower chance of that, because he's like, okay, fuck, I have to actually get my shit together.
What's his average or whatever?
His average close rate?
Yeah.
Average close rate was, his highest average close rate is 70%, but aside from that, I would say currently his average close rate is between 50 to 60.
Okay.
Closer to 60. And the other thing as well is that he's constantly refining his system, and he's getting better at it as well. So what you would be learning is the most updated version, essentially, of his system that got him to 10K in the first place, right? So it's the system that got him to 10K in the first place, you're getting an upgraded version of that. He's already refined his process even more since that. So I think that's another strength that he brings to the table. Do you have any questions? Do you have any feelings, thoughts?
Yeah. How much money does he make?
16 a month right now.
Every month?
Yeah. On average, yeah.
On average, 16.
Yeah.
How long has he done that for?
I think it's been, let me see, 6 months. I think it's been 6 months.
He's an average of 16.
Yeah. Before that, his average was 10. And the first 6 months, and then lately in the last 6 months, I think it's been around 16. Plus or minus 1,000, right? But
right. Okay. And what, how many days a week does he work?
That depends on the marketing team. So it depends. I mean, some weeks he's busier than others. It really depends what the marketing. I know that when he was earning 10K a month, he was working more hours because he had 2 clients, right? And now because he has a higher ticket, I think he's working less hours, but he's making more money because of the nature of the ticket that he's selling. And I can give you an exact number. I believe it's 15 hours a week. Sorry,
15.
15, yeah.
15. 15.
Yeah, but it kind of varies too, because you can choose to take on more if you want. The last month he went on holiday a bit, and he's been coaching, so he took on less hours, so he earned a little bit less than his average of 16 because of that, right? So it really varies a lot, how much you choose to take on as well, right? As you know, right? So again, he's just to give you an example, for him, maybe the last month was an off month because of the holiday and coaching, and he went from 16 to 10,000. And that's from working quite a bit less, a few hours per week. So he's still making that kind of money.
True.
How do I know he can teach me to do that? Has he ever taught anyone how to do it?
Yeah, he's taught 2 guys. One of those guys is he only worked for he learned under him for like a month or two, and now he's already working for Hussein, and who is, I'm not sure if you know, but he's a very big influencer in the 2 million followers, and yeah, and I mean, they something, but I think they also talk to the guy, they trust his skills, and he showed his skills, and the rest of history, he's working with them. So the other guy's a bit more farmers, but yeah, no, he even that guy is progressing every call. So yes, in my opinion, I don't know that guy completely intimately, but he's progressing. So yes, I do think he can teach you, especially given your experience in high ticket closing. Absolutely, I think he can teach you.
I'm also just going to pretend there that you said yes, he's got XYZ people who've done XYZ, because that's kind of what this person's looking for right now, and just pretend that this is something a bit more established.
He's progressing. So yes, I do think he can teach you, especially given your experience in high tech.
I'm also just going to pretend there that you said yes, he's got XYZ people who've done XYZ, because that's kind of what this person's looking for right now, and we'll just pretend that this is something a bit more established. Right, so he's like taught like multiple people how to make 10K a month.
Yeah. What's coming up for you right now?
I was just thinking of some other things. Like I was like, how long is it going to take?
Absolutely, man. Listen, Joe, it's sort of like fitness, right? Like I can give you the best coach in the world. He can give you all the best exercises. He can give you the best diet plan. But in the end, like the only person that's going to get the results by implementing those things is you, right? And it's the same thing with science coaching. I mean, the time it takes, that's up to you. It can take a month. One of our students, one of Simon's students, I should say, it took him about 2 months to absorb everything and land a job, right? The other guy's taking a bit longer. But yeah, and whether it's for everybody, like you're saying, maybe it's not for everybody, but it also just depends. In my opinion, it depends on your commitment, right? On your commitment to learning, and just how eager are you to learn, how motivated are you to implement and to be committed, right? Because like my fitness example, Simon can give you the best framework in the world. He can give you all the knowledge you're looking for, but in the end, the only person who can implement these things and learn it properly is you, right? We all have to take ownership of what we're trying to accomplish, and so that's also part of the reason why I'm asking these questions, right? Is to sort of assess how motivated you are, what your commitment is to implementing and learning and applying what Simon teaches as his framework for sales. And I just want to say, I'm already out of questions, by the way. I'm done with the questions. But I feel like you have everything it takes, based on everything you've told me. Your
Stanley, I honestly don't. But
experience, your self-taught, your motivation. I think you have what it takes. I think you have the commitment to implement these things and to overcome your plateaus. So,
like, if I'm being, ruthlessly harsh, and by the way, maybe this comes as a surprise to you, how unimpressed I am with Nick as the prospect and with how much I'm critiquing this call in general of yours, even though I know Nick's gonna close. I know it. I see it coming, but maybe this comes as a surprise to you. But my job is to take you from, not just someone who closes some calls from prospects who talk a bit about go through a few pain points with you and admit that they need help, and then they have enough money to comfortably invest without being scared off. My job is to take you to being a ruthless killer that challenges enough to, even with the prospects that would otherwise weasel out of the sale because they haven't been taking enough ownership, that those become closes, right? And in this case, if this were real, there's just so much unclaimed ownership here in this conversation that I would be concerned that Nick would actually, surprisingly maybe to you, not close on this call.
I'm happy to give you a spot on in Simon's sales course, and yeah, I think we went deep, and I think I think you have what it takes to put it simply, based on everything you told me. So, what do you have any more thoughts, feelings, or questions?
Plus, if I were to either be hiring Nick as his prospect, or Joe as his prospect, either hiring him or even accepting him as a client, I would genuinely be somewhat concerned that he's gone for 2 years without taking drastic action and mentoring and then saying that there's no issue with him. It's just he doesn't have the knowledge, but he also hasn't found the knowledge in 2 years. I would genuinely be concerned about his mindset and his level of, hunger and potential and stuff. And if you were my closer, really closing him, then I would be transmitting that concern to you and be forcing you to check for that, right? And that's maybe going to make you challenge a bit more, and that will actually make you close more as well, right?
Or would you like to hear a bit more about
that level of genuine disqualification and skepticism and challenging
the course in itself?
And I don't need to tell you how good Simon is. I need you to first of all tell me, explain this contradiction, explain this lack of ownership, and explain this change now, and then explain why you would be a good fit before I tell you that what we do, right? Because I know what we do and we don't need you. Simple as that.
I guess you can tell me more about the course if you want to, yeah.
Even that answer. I guess you can tell me more about the course if you want to. Yeah, like that's such that flippancy, that nonchalantness. I would be calling that out immediately. We're talking about your fucking life here, your future, making 5K or 20K. You know, do you have a bit more seriousness about this? Maybe
you hesitated a bit there. You're not.
Okay, thank you.
You're not sounding too sure. Can you? Is there something on your mind?
Drum roll again.
I mean, I think I was just ready to just get you to tell me how much it was going to cost and, what it looks like. And then I was just like, well, I mean, how long is this going to take,
All right, man. Fair enough, brother. So the cost is 6,000 USD. Excuse me. The cost is 8,000 USD. And about the program itself. So once a week, you get one-on-one calls with Simon, where he teaches you his system in depth. You'll get some classes where he teaches the framework, and you'll do role plays with him where you refine what you implement. You implement what you learned. During the week, when you're not on a call with him, you have access to him via WhatsApp, where if you have any questions, thoughts, you can message him, and he'll be available to reply. And also, when you are ready, when you've finished the course, he will help you land a job, get a client to start working with. And the time frame of this is 6 months. So let's say, for example, you take about 2 months to learn. For the rest of the 4 months that you have with him, you can send him records of your calls, and so he can give you feedback on how to improve your calls. So even though you're already even when you're already working with the guy that he provides you, the client that he provides you, he's still dedicated. You're going to be dedicated to improving your game, leveling up your game for the next until the 6 months is complete.
Yeah. Like, I don't really care about the money. Like, you know, when I started looking for coaches, I was like pretty much exactly, I was like prepared to spend, you know, that much money or whatever to like find someone who I thought was really gonna be able to help me. I just don't know if like he sounds alright. I guess he's helped people make that kind of money before. I don't know. I might just keep looking at people at the moment because I'm just like, you know, sounds alright, but I don't know if he's really like the guy for me or not. You know.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Thank you, Nick, for not being too
Okay.
easy on Stanley here. So basically everything I said, right? I actually expected Nick to go easy on you here, but this is actually realistic, Stanley, is that because so much has gone unchallenged, he's literally, as I said might happen, gonna weasel out of this and say, yeah, I might just keep looking. Like he has for the last 2 years, right? Because I went completely unchallenged and there's literally tons of ownership that he hasn't claimed, that you haven't gotten him to claim. This would be sounding very different if you had handled if you had really dived into and digged into that early on. Very, very different. He would have no shot of saying this. He'd be cooked. He'd be paying you right now. Right? So thank you, Nick, for not being too easy here, because this is good. This is quite realistic. So let's see what you say now.
What is it that
And also the entire energy at the end was the end of, you selling him and not him selling you. And, he completely dodged your question of what makes him qualified. Then you said, well, I just need to know if this works. And then you qualified me and sold me. And so that completely changed the dynamic. Now he had the power. He was window shopping. He was looking. And you were giving to him, giving to him, giving to him. Right? When your energy should have been the opposite, to be honest. So, I'm being harsh on you here with this call. I'm giving you a lot of critiques. But this is exactly why Nick is saying what he's saying right now. And don't want you to get discouraged. You will still close people. But there'll be a lot of calls that go like this, where you just were not even close to tough enough. And my job is to not get you closing only some people. My job is to make you into a killer. Right? This would have required killer, shark.
So the money isn't the issue. It's more that you're not sure if he's the person to help you or not. So you'd rather keep on looking.
Yeah, I want to like find someone I'm like, because like, I don't want to spend the money twice. Like I want to find someone the first time who's like the guy who can help me.
What qualities would you be looking for in someone to make you feel like this is the person to help you?
I think I really just want to be very clear that like whoever it is like knows exactly what the problems I have are and they know how to solve them.
Based on you've been following Simon for a little bit at least. Do you feel like Simon doesn't have these? I'll just go. Do you feel like Simon doesn't have these qualities that you're looking for?
I don't know. Like I can't imagine he doesn't have them. I guess. I just don't really know. Like I don't know him that well. I haven't like looked that much into him. I just like found a bunch of people online, and if I watched the video and they seemed like they kind of knew what they were talking about, I just booked a call basically. So.
Got it.
Stanley, are you lost here? And are you surprised at Nick's objection in any way? I assume it probably doesn't make sense to you because he told you he needs something. And so what you did just then is that you You think Simon doesn't? Which is kind of, in a sense, still selling me. And really, the entire crux is just, he needs to be fucking challenged the fuck out of him. Right?
Okay. Well, I totally understand that. And that's no problem. And, if you still need to keep on exploring and finding someone that suits your needs perfectly, that suits what you're looking for, then that's fair. And if you ever feel like, once you're more sure, if you ever feel like that you're more sure, then book another call, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I'll have a think about it, and then I'll see sort of what happens. Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, good talking to you, Joe, and good luck in your search.
Thanks, mate. See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it actually did play out as I expected it would in a more realistic scenario. So I'm happy that Nick actually didn't, to be honest, go easy and just immediately close there, because as I said, in real life, the cyber prospect, even though they're telling you what you might, with your lack of experience, assume as good things, he needs knowledge, great, we can help. He is stuck, great. He's telling all these things, but the emotional crux is that he's gone 2 years without being the person to go get that knowledge, right? That needs to be challenged so hard, and this is that mindset of settling for 2 years is the mindset that he still has really emotionally at the end of the call, even though he's logically said, yeah, I need some more knowledge. Oh wow, Simon makes this and this. Oh, that's great. That's all rational service level stuff. So yeah, I'm curious to find out what your mental map and mindset was. Were you surprised at anything? Were you surprised it didn't close? And if so, then I think this critique probably makes, clears things up for you and makes a lot of sense now, right? Why I was so critiquing in the first part of the call. So yeah, I might stop it here. I can, you can give me feedback on this feedback and see what shifts for you now. I think this was useful to see also the level of standards that you need to set internally as well. Let's see what Nick says, let's see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know how to get out of that one. Like, I was like, oh, he's lost. Like, I mean, as in I just lost him. So I'm not gonna
Okay, so now you know.
Yeah, but I don't know if what was like, or what was like the roadmap to get them to commit?
I mean, I think it was actually right back at the start, to be honest.
Right back at the start.
Like, the more that originally when I was writing out, the prospect was like, I'm stuck and I sort of want to be successful and I don't have financial freedom and, I'm feeling a bit lost and hopeless and stuff. And that was true. And like, that was legitimately true, right? But I wasn't in a place where I was very aware of the pain I was feeling. And so all I wanted was like the knowledge of how to solve the problem. And so when I was talking about like, not having the knowledge and just like effectively like not having the knowledge, that would have been in my mind the thing that like, and it was still really good exploring the stuff where I was like at uni and the situation of how much money I was making and what I wanted to get. Like that really brought it into the forefront of my mind. But just the fact that like the main thing for me that I was really like, that was causing me the most pain was just the absence of knowledge that I had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then all I wanted was like to fill that gap and fill that void. And so I think like getting really clear on like what knowledge don't you have?
Yes, I agree. And like I said at the beginning, there's just quicker routes. So first of all, directly into the, how much money is he making? How is that not enough, etc. And there was a lot of fluff around there. But also, and I said this, right? I think Nick isn't even aware of this, that he's doing this as a prospect. I fully thought this wasn't even Nick's intention to bring this into the prospect. I fully believe that Nick probably does, as a prospect, think, hey, he's ready, he just needs this and this and this knowledge. But I'm saying even subconsciously to Nick's prospect, and in a real life setting, there was so much ownership that he was not claiming, in the sense of going that long without doing that. And I think if you had challenged that, it would have been that would have actually been the close, right? And so, yeah, very, very good call to review. I was pretty ruthless, but I have to be, right? Because I don't want to make, like I said, I don't want to turn you into just, close the easy prospects that are both easy in terms of giving you stuff, but also very willing to, just turn up and pay $8,000 on the call. But the people that have been like this, avoiding ownership and rationalizing and dancing around things, and then closing them to turning into a shark, right? Killer. And I need to, all of this stuff, in terms of empathy and understanding and blah, blah, blah. Because right now you're being far too soft, right? And the real empathetic thing is the real service is to actually challenge to this degree, if you need to, out of a place of, listen, man, what the fuck? You need to wake up, bro. Without telling them that, but through the challenge. That's the real service, instead of just going along with everything they say and supplicating to them, essentially, to the BS, right? That would be the real service. And I need to overshoot you into more challenging, and then you can come back and soften things up again. But right now, you're just starting out too soft, and I know it's tough to get to there, but you have to get a lot more ruthless and a lot more challenging. And especially now when you're role-playing, you need to practice that, and you need to get way more into that end of the spectrum. And then when it comes to live calls, yeah, maybe you get softer again. But after that foundation of being way more challenging and way more ruthless. Because right now you're being far too soft. And that's led to this person not enrolling today, not changing his life, and continuing his mental mindset of, I just need to, get more knowledge, but I haven't been doing that for 2 years. Right. So I'm just going to keep telling myself BS, and I'm going to just keep looking, and, maybe I'll hop on a call or two, and then I'll, the person has good results, but emotionally I was not challenged enough to really get pushed to fucking invest today, and then it's just going to keep stalling him out. Right. So yeah, that's all for now. I'm going to move on to Nick, if I have time. So Nick, I'm going to review your call as well today, for sure, and I'll get those both sent out to you, okay? That's all from me. Peace.